Hello, we have another Q&A, and I'm very excited to welcome our filmmakers. And this is for the short film Gravity Hill, and you're going to hear a little bit more about it. I hope you will be so intrigued that you will check it out December 18th and 19th when we're going to be online this year, for obvious reasons. But we are so delighted to have four of the talented people behind the film, and I'm going to have them introduce themselves, and then we'll get started. Randy, do you want to start?
Sure, I'll be happy to. I am Randy LaBarge. I was the producer for the film and the writer, the screenwriter, and kind of the dog catcher for anything that needed to be done.
And Nat?
I'm Nat Saenz. I was actually the director, and I'm also one of the executive producers of this film.
And Scott?
My name is Scott Armstrong, and I was the director of photography, cinematographer, and kind of the equipment guy.
And you did the special effects too, right?
Yeah, I did some of the special effects, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I did most all of them, so yeah.
And finally, last but not least, we have the lovely Whitney.
Hi, I'm Whitney Holland, and I got to play Hannah in the film and work with these gentlemen.
Yes, it's basically about Hannah and I forget the male's name that's in the car with you. What's his character's name?
Come on, Randy.
Whitney, who are
name
you
is
in
Matthew.
the car with?
Gosh, it's been so long. Randy, what was it?
Matthew.
I know I'm
We're
gonna
all
say
saying.
I have it written down. I should have looked it up.
Matthew was
anyway.
his actual name.
I was going to say it was basically a story, this adventure of those two, and then there's some other characters as well.
Mm-hmm.
But it's primarily what happens to Whitney and her friend. We won't have any spoilers. But Randy, so this was Randy's idea, and tell us a little bit about Gravity Hill.
Gravity Hill, you want me to tell you how the story came about?
Yeah, let's hear a story come about.
Well, Nat and I and our wives were down at Alien Con, the second Alien Con. I think that was 2 summers ago. And I was introduced to a woman who had some relatives that had some experiences. And so afterward, Nat and I were chatting, and we said, we need to write a story about those experiences. And I have long known about a place outside Prosser, Washington called Gravity Hill. And I've always wanted to do a story there. So we created the story, and we wound up with our little production company, and we badgered young Miss Whitney there to help us out, and she was absolutely fabulous.
She was. And Nat, you and Randy have collaborated before, and tell us a little bit about maybe your process and this experience in particular.
Especially with Gravity Hill, the thing about it is, like Randy said, we went to Alien Con, which is brought on by the History Channel. Never been to one of these conventions before. And it was great because I got to see guys like, I watched Ancient Aliens on TV a lot and got to see the people that were the experts in person. So that really got our creative juices going. And I've always liked doing genre type films that we've done. The things that me and Randy have done together there's always been some kind of a twist or some kind of genre to it. And Gravity Hill was a natural. We kept saying, God, I've never been there. It's about 30 miles from where I live. So I said, let's try to do this, Gravity Hill. We took our cars up there. It works. We put it in neutral and we just start sliding up the hill. It's really amazing little place in the middle of nowhere. Mm-hmm. So this was a great setting to do a film like what we're going to show you here, that you're going to see here in a few minutes.
Yeah, I guess we should have pointed out that Gravity Hill, the whole premise is it's an incline, but your car defies gravity and goes up the incline.
Mm-hmm.
That's Gravity Hill. And Scott, I got to tell you, Scott is the cinematographer. Those opening scenes with your, it must have been a drone. They were just gorgeous. I mean, it looked like a car commercial. Like, that's how beautiful.
I can't take credit for that because we had somebody else that was the drone pilot.
Oh, okay.
So
But you were in charge.
yeah, I was kind of in charge, but he kind of, I think it was Ben that did that.
Mhm.
He did those shots with Nat, and mostly mine. I was the camera on for the actors and on the location, and out in the middle of the road.
Yeah, but similarly, it was not an easy. You shot a lot of interior in the car, and
Yeah.
then exterior of the car at night with special effects. I mean, there was a lot going on, and it looked really good. It looked really good.
I guess that's the movie magic, you know. Not really. Some of it's very simple, and yet it looks great on screen.
Sure,
And-
sure, but
And
don't.
you got to realize we're in the middle of nowhere. No electricity, no nothing out there. Not restroom. Not if you want to go to the bathroom, we had to go like 10 miles to find a
Wow.
bathroom. So we were in the middle of nowhere where this was.
Yeah,
at.
no electricity for the lights or any of the equipment, and it's dark. I mean, when it gets dark, it's dark because
It's dark.
there's no houses or lights out there at all. You're out in the middle of a field.
Not
You're
only,
stepping on rattlesnakes in the pitch
Yeah.
black.
Oh yeah,
right, and then not only is there no electricity, there's no gravity apparently. So like things are like
Yeah.
flying in the air, right? Right.
it's amazing. I mean, I saw it, and you can start at the bottom of the hill. It's a fairly short distance, and you get up to about 10 miles an hour by the time you hit the top of the hill.
Wow.
Yeah, you go up to
And
10
then
miles.
it just
It
stops.
coasts uphill by 10 miles an hour within
And
not
then it
very
just
far.
stops. And then it just stops.
Well, you crest the top of the hill, and then of course then it goes
Whoa.
down on the other side of the hill. But by the time you meet the crest of the hill, you're doing 10 miles an hour.
Well, you know,
Now let me
but
let me tell you something really funny about that, Ray. While we were shooting, there would be people coming in the middle of our shoot wanting to go up the hill. So we'd have to stop our shoot, and they would come up and says, "Can we just go up?" And they'd go up and then they'd leave. Well, we would have cars coming at midnight
Yeah.
wanting, people wanting to just do this little gravity hill thing at midnight in the middle of the summer, middle during the week. It was crazy.
you should have been charging. You should. Oh, it's a new thing. It's $5.
Yeah.
Now, Whitney, so you're no longer in Washington. You're in Oregon, and you can
Uh-huh.
share that wonderful news of why you're in Oregon. But were you pursuing acting for long in Washington, or is that your career path?
Yeah. So I was born in Washington and raised and grown there. And then I went to the University of Idaho for acting. And they have a fellowship with the Oregon Shakespeare Festival that's in honor of an actor who worked there named Rex Raybould. They pick a graduating student every year to work at the festival as a full-on company member. And so I got that, but it's with the season starting when it does, you wait a year. So I moved back home to, just take a breather, do some other projects that, before I jumped into this year-long commitment. And I did some plays and stuff. And then I don't know how I got into the meeting, but there was some Tri-Cities Film Festival meeting going on in the middle of the week. And I dropped in and introduced myself and said, I'm an actor. I've not gotten to do film before, but I'm interested. And Randy goes, I need you. I need you. And I went,
Yeah.
okay, that's great.
Oh,
And then
interesting.
we started doing the project and I learned a ton and it was a bunch of fun.
Yeah,
Super
Randy
safe.
looks at me the first time we saw Whitney, and he looks at me, and I look at him and says, there's one of our actors.
So, Whitney, you had been focusing on theater, and this
Mhm.
was your first experience with film.
Yeah, it was unique. And I
Yeah.
mean, like you said, we had a lot of like close quarters stuff, which
Yeah.
is so different from a wide open stage and a distance from you to the audience. So that was a totally different experience.
Well, and also it's, I think most actors will agree that there's a very different approach to theater and for
Mhm.
film, you know, because it's very easy to be too big on film, especially when you're trained in theater. You know, you're
Yeah.
used to being bigger because you have to play to the
Bigger,
rafters,
better.
and then on film, you know, it's like, you know, you're drinking coffee, you're like, you know, it's like every little thing is more obvious. So
Yeah.
kudos to you for making that adjustment, because I think all the four kind of the kids in the film, well, I use the kid younger than me,
Youngins.
you're all very natural. And the nice thing was, I was like, oh, I could see them as real life friends. Like I could really see them hanging out.
Oh,
So
good.
I thought that was really
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a good group. And I mean, when it came down to it, you're just telling the story. So whether, I don't know, it was interesting that I think I hopefully naturally adapted to just subduing everything a little bit more than I would for the stage. You just,
Yeah.
you know your story, you know your intentions, your objectives, and you lean into that, and then it takes you where you need to go.
You were in capable hands. I mean, Randy and
Yes.
Nat, I've admired their work for a long time now, and they've been tremendous supporters of the film festival, not just submitting, but to actually attend the film festival, which is so important to a smaller film festival. But I also think, you know, it's a fun festival. So unfortunately, we're not live this year, but hopefully next year we be live. Yeah.
And I sure miss those sandwiches.
Yeah, I know. For people who've never been there, I tell them, is like, you won't believe, like, there's a sandwich company right next door to the theater, and they give us sandwiches, and it's like amazing. So
Okay, so that's why it's the Sandwich Festival.
no,
No.
it's not. So it's the Sandwich Festival because I wanted to think of a moniker that would be different. And so sandwiches is like a play on genre. It's like S is for short, A is for animated. You know, like that's how I came up with sandwich. But, and I don't know if Randy and Nat has heard this, because I've told it before. So I had organized the festival and I had secured the venue because my friends live in Twin Falls. My acting friends are from Twin Falls, and I had seen that beautiful theater. It's this gorgeous theater. And we had kind of like inked it. And then when we announced it, my friend's like, oh, you know that there's the Twin Falls Sandwich Company next door to the theater.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, no, I had no idea. So then when I went to Twin Falls to kind of get sponsors, I had this, really serious, like I had like folders and like all these charts and graphs and stuff. And I walk into the sandwich company, and his name is Shane Cook. He's the proprietor. I was like, hey, I'm doing this festival. He goes, yeah, whatever you need. He goes, he says, people have been asking me about my film festival. Like, Shane, what's this film festival you're doing? And he's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. It's like, I'm going to be affiliated with your film festival no matter what. So I might as well be a sponsor. And he's been the most generous sponsor since. And, I think Randy and Nat can attest to just how wonderful the restaurant is and how generous they are. But it just goes to show you, like, that's how life is. I mean, I could not have planned it better. I mean, thank God I didn't go with Twin Falls Pizza Film Festival.
You would have been out of luck.
Yeah, because I couldn't think of any genre with Z. I only had one, and it had two Z's, so I was like,
oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes through, and I think that's how indie films are kind of too. Like, we kind of put things together and just hope for the best, but sometimes the best things are things that were unexpected or not planned. So, yeah. Well, continued success to all of you, and thank you so much for taking time out of your quarantine to talk to us. Any final thoughts?
A good chance to talk to people.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, Randy and Nat, I look forward to your next project.
Yeah, we'll definitely be submitting next year.
Okay.
Yep, it's called Black's Treasure.
Black's Treasure.
Yep.
But it's fun working on these projects, and I learn a lot each time, and it's great working with a great group of people. So I enjoy it.
Well, I think you guys did a great job, and I think your camaraderie comes through the film. So
Thanks,
Mhm.
Ray.
Good.
Okay.
Thanks.
thanks so much. And
Thank
check out
you.
Rabbit Hill December 18th and 19th at the
Yeah.
Twin Falls Sandwiches Film Festival.
Thank you.